outside the National Palace in Port-au-Prince, and you can see the damage that was done during the earthquake. It's absolutely destroyed the entire building. And it's a great indicator of what's happened as a result of this earthquake. There's absolutely no government as represented by the National Palace. Everything's just crumbled. There's nobody providing the basic services, nobody providing the leadership. A lot of discussion going on, but the Haitian people themselves are frustrated. 4 months after the situation with the earthquake has happened, the government hasn't really responded in the way that they've liked to. You see, just across from the National Palace, you've got one of the larger tent cities in the capital, Port-au-Prince here. All right, and you can see the UN truck there providing protection to something that's completely destroyed. So we're here at Dumars, which is like the National Mall in Washington, D.C. It's the National Mall here in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Capitol building is just down that way. And this is one of the largest tent cities in Port-au-Prince. And for the thousands of people that are here, this is their only source of drinking water. They bring up a big water truck filled with water, and they feed it here into this bladder. It's a 10,000 liter bladder. And then the gravity feeds that water down through this green pipe here. And you can see, as we head into the entrance to the tent city, this is where the people come for their water. They'll bring whatever bottles they can find, a Coke bottle, an empty container of some kind, and they got the spigots right there, and they just bring their bottles up and stick them under there. And this is their only source of drinking water in this entire city. And it's about 95 degrees right now, about 80% humidity, so you can imagine the need for drinking water in this kind of environment. So some of the greatest needs here at Camp Dumars are water is the main concern. You saw how they get their drinking water. Then also basic sanitation. You can see there's no toilets, no place to go to the bathroom here, and that creates a lot of problems, especially once the rain comes. We're heading into the rainy season right now. There's also no places to take showers, so people have to just find a bucket and try to clean themselves as best they can right out here in the open. And so that creates sanitation problems as the water runs down through the different areas into the lower sections of this camp. There's about 10,000 estimated people here in Camp Dumars, and it's just getting more and more crowded. So another big need here is that the local thugs come in and they take over the organization of the camp, and they present themselves to the UNs as the leaders, but they're really the thugs. And they get all the donations from the UN, and then they come in, and instead of distributing it to the poor families like they're supposed to, they set up a black market and sell it, making profit off of people's misery. So one of the great needs is for organizations with manpower just to be able to come and distribute it by hand without going through the local thugs to distribute it, but people will be responsible to actually come in and hand out food. And so you can hear how passionate they are about this. They're not getting any of the help. It's getting caught up in the corruption that's been such a part of the history of Haiti. All right, I'm here in Jeremie on the peninsula, southern peninsula of Haiti, town of about 30,000 people, and as you can see, this is the only fresh water drinking supply for all 30,000 people. Is this spring coming out of the ground right here. We're about 1.5 miles from Jeremie, and the people walk all the way from town and carry the water on their heads, and that's the only way they can get fresh drinking water. Among children, diarrhea is still the #1 killer of small children, is primarily because they don't have fresh, clean drinking water. And so this is it. This is how they get their water. They come here not only to get their drinking water, but they get trucks that bring it in and sell it to the people. But if you're too poor, you can't afford to have a truck come and bring it to your house, and so you're stuck carrying it on your head all the way back to town, to your home, so you can have some fresh drinking water. And you can see it's the only running water. There's no plumbing in their houses, but the flow of water that comes out of the spring, they use it to wash their clothes, to bathe in, pretty much anything that you would use normally at home in the house. They've got to walk all the way out here to get that done. So we were thinking how great it would be and how simple just to put a pipe for 1.5 miles into town and bring fresh, clean drinking water to the 30,000 people of Jeremie. We're here in the town of Jeremie, a town of about 30,000 people. In the aftermath of the earthquake, about 15,000 people have flooded to this small outside community looking for new opportunity, new hope, a fresh start with all the destruction in Port-au-Prince. And it's really put a tax on the local infrastructure that was already in great disrepair. And so we thought, with all the people moving out of Port-au-Prince and coming to these small cities, let's start with one of these small cities where we can make a real difference, a real impact, and bring a fresh hope, a fresh sense of what the love of Jesus can do to a community, and just tangible expressions, not words. You can see the playground equipment here has been broken, I don't know, for years, decades. It's supposed to be a teeter-totter, and you can see the slide over here. Not gonna slide very far on that, even less on the one behind that. The swings don't even have swings on them anymore. And how cool it would be for the kids to give them a place to play, a place to laugh and start having fun again. And what a great way for the churches to come together and begin to do this, and for us to spearhead that effort to actually do something for their community instead of sitting around and waiting for someone like the UN or the Haitian government to do something for them, to rally the local churches to do something, to actually make a difference for their own people, to bring hope and help and healing to their own country. Maybe to repaint some of these buildings and just freshen everything up and give people that fresh look, that fresh start. And so this is where we want to start, here in Jeremie, to bring hope and healing to the hearts of Haiti after this earthquake.